Welcome back to the Great Recaps. Today, I will present to you a horror, drama, fantasy film from the year 2019, named Down. Be aware, spoilers are incoming. Proceed with caution. Jennifer finds herself as one of the last individuals remaining in the office on a Friday evening. She plans to board a flight to New York for a long weekend to reunite with her ex-fiancé for Valentine's Day, so she composes an email for him. In her haste to avoid being late for her flight, she grabs some candy and exits the office. At the same time, Guy is also finishing up for the day. They coincidentally end up waiting for the elevator together. Jennifer enters the elevator at the 49th floor, while Guy boards at the 42 ND. Guy quickly begins to engage her in conversation and share some jokes. Although she responds, her lack of enthusiasm in continuing the dialogue is evident. He points out a carving on the elevator wall just as it unexpectedly halts. He attempts to use the keys and press the alarm button, but nothing seems to work, even though the lights remain on inside the elevator. Guy tries to force the door open, but that proves unfruitful as well. They attempt to signal to the functioning camera, yet their cries for help go unanswered. To complicate their situation, both of their phones are without service since they are situated 4 floors below ground level. Worried about missing her flight, Jennifer expresses her concern about the absence of any building security. 15 minutes later, they make another effort to call for assistance and pound on the door, but are met with silence. Guy suggests there might be an emergency escape hatch, leading Jennifer to awkwardly climb onto his shoulders to inspect the elevator's ceiling. She accidentally injures her hand while striking it, prompting him to lower her down. An hour passes, and Jennifer concedes that catching her flight is no longer possible. Despite Guy's attempts to maintain a lighthearted atmosphere through humor, she vents her frustration towards everything and everyone. They finally share their names and continue the playful exchange that Guy initiated at the moment he stepped in. Since Jennifer lacks any water in her thermos, Guy offers her his own bottle, but they joke about the idea of opening the wine he has with him instead. They both discover that they have bottle openers tucked away in their bags and share a laugh over it. They do not open the wine, but she does take his water. As a form of consolation for the absence of real food, Jennifer offers Guy some candy. She believes they should be cautious with their supplies since they could become trapped in the elevator until Tuesday. 4 hours later, Jennifer feels the urge to urinate and struggles to hold it in because she feels awkward doing so in front of Guy. He suggests she should go in a corner over his coat, and when she declines, Guy proposes that she use her thermos. She instructs him to close his eyes and cover his ears. Guy starts singing, and she finally manages to relieve herself. Afterwards, she continues drawing on the elevator wall. Eventually, they engage in a game and start sharing more personal information. Guy reveals that he does not have anyone searching for him because he is too focused on his work. Jennifer claims she is in a similar situation. She explains that she intended to surprise someone in New York, but that person likely didn't even want her presence. Guy decides that it's time to open the wine and hands it to her. They toast to their survival. Later, they occupy their time by drawing each other and growing closer. Guy admits that he had seen her previously at the office building, but he refrained from mentioning it to avoid coming off as a stalker and making her uncomfortable. She reacts better than he expected and even laughs about it. They complete their drawings and present them to one another. Her drawing of him has a humorous tone, while his is more serious. Jennifer apologizes and snaps a picture of the artwork, saying she will use it as her profile picture if they make it out alive. Next, they shift the focus to food, and since they're both craving it, she asks Guy to change the topic. He mentions various subjects, and she opts to discuss making love, stands up, and turns her camera toward him, inquiring about the most unusual location he's had intimate relations. Guy hesitates, feeling shy, so she goes first with her story. Jennifer recounts an experience with one of her college ex-boyfriends when they were intimate in a library. When it comes time for Guy to share, he still feels reluctant, believing he doesn't have a compelling tale. Jennifer encourages him to fabricate one. Guy shares a story about an attractive girl who was interested in him during a work picnic. He mentions that they became intoxicated, entered the vehicle, and she starts to take off her clothes while he is driving. The guy feels strange and uneasy again, telling Jennifer that he became excited and needed to pull back. He expresses regret, believing he went too far, but she reassures him it's fine. The guy moves toward her clumsily and kisses her, then proceeds to remove her clothing. They engage in intimacy in the elevator. Afterwards, he confesses that he might fall for her, but she pulls away. Jennifer informs him that she wishes to reconcile with her former partner. This was the reason she intended to travel to New York. To surprise him, heal their relationship, and improve things. Unlike the guy, she believes that while their encounter was enjoyable, it should remain casual since her connection with her ex is genuine. Jennifer candidly shares her feelings and recounts her past relationship. Conversely, the guy feels they have a special bond and believes her ex is unworthy of her. She becomes upset because it's evident she still has feelings for him and tells the guy that once they exit the elevator, they will return to their individual lives. He continues to insist they are meant to be together and tears up, feeling isolated despite being confined in the same space. Suddenly, a change occurs within him, and Jennifer senses this shift. The guy begins to reveal his true identity. He had deceived her regarding his job and his name as well. He clarifies that he didn't just see her occasionally, he actually noticed her every day at work. He pulls out his phone and shows Jennifer security images he possesses of her, including specific times and dates. He even has footage of her entering the elevator that evening. Jennifer feels frightened. He reveals he is the building's security guard and expresses frustration that people like him are often overlooked. She didn't even recognize him despite his position at the front desk. He believes he understands her more than her ex does and indicates he orchestrated everything that transpired that night. The man retrieves a key and unlocks the elevator. Shocked by what he has done, Jennifer declares she will notify the authorities and insists he will rot in prison. He is displeased by this, seizes her, and a struggle ensues. As she kicks during the confrontation, Jennifer accidentally breaks the elevator key. They continue to wrestle, and she knocks him out with her shoe. Concerned she may have killed him, she approaches to check on him when he suddenly springs up and topples her. Both remain unconscious in the elevator. After some time, Jennifer awakens to discover that the man is already awake. She inquires about his motivations for his actions. He explains that his desire was to separate her from everything so they could bond on a more personal level. He claims that their experience in the elevator wasn't merely a date, but a full relationship developed over the weekend. Jennifer doubts that he will succeed in his plan, believing that someone will eventually come to rescue them. However, she learns that he has scheduled all the shifts for that weekend, meaning the other two security personnel will not arrive until the extended weekend concludes on Tuesday. Jennifer questions his intentions, and he responds by saying he would prefer to kill her rather than face prison again. He asserts that he never compelled her to do anything, but Jennifer argues that he has kidnapped her. This accusation sends him into a fit of anger. Once he regains his composure, he opens the gift Jennifer had purchased for her former fiancé. Inside, he discovers a shirt along with a box. He puts on the shirt and urges Jennifer to examine the remaining gift. Jennifer reveals the box, which contains cigars along with essential accessories like cigar scissors and a lighter. He lights a cigar and mocks Jennifer further, suggesting that with all the thoughtful presents, she could have won her ex back. With a twist of irony, he wishes her a happy Valentine's Day. Later, he expresses regret for frightening Jennifer and asks if they can mend their relationship. He requests an additional opportunity and reassures her that she does not need to respond immediately, suggesting she take time to consider it. He comments on a travel advertisement playing in the elevator, stating that the individuals in the clip appear to be joyful together. He tells Jennifer that he would one day take her to the resort featured in the ad. He becomes annoyed with the malfunctioning neon light in the elevator, using Jennifer's thermos to break it. He realizes that the bulbs beneath the ceiling panels will need to be replaced eventually. He contemplates removing the panel to escape the elevator from there. As he uses the thermos to break it open, Jennifer stands beside him. He requests her assistance to boost him up, promising to return for her. However, Jennifer believes it would be simpler if he helped her instead, as she lacks the strength to manage it alone. He doubts her intention to come back for him and worries she will alert the authorities. Jennifer tells him everything he wants to hear, persuading him to give her the boost. She climbs onto his shoulders and manages to pull herself out of the elevator. The man directs her to where the ladder and door are located, pleased that they have finally managed to break free. Jennifer turns around and presents him with the middle finger, aggravating him. As she ascends the ladder, he discovers a way to exit the elevator as well. The man ties together two articles of clothing and casts them over the elevator beam. Jennifer is already approaching the exit while he begins to climb upward. He warns her that she ought to flee as she is now facing death. Jennifer is nearing the exit when he reaches the same level and pursues her. She swings the door open and calls out for assistance, but he abruptly grabs her and tosses them both back into the elevator. They crash down and lose consciousness. Jennifer regains consciousness first and notices the fire sprinklers, brainstorming a new escape strategy. She attempts to trigger the fire alarms by lighting a cigarette, but when that fails, she ignites a small flame. As smoke fills the elevator, the man awakens, and she strikes him, breaking his nose. Jennifer manages to restrain him with a piece of fabric. He informs her that the fire alarm will not activate, but they will merely be drenched and face electrocution. Jennifer threatens him with serious injury to compel him to confess all his actions against her. She activates her camera and starts recording herself, detailing what she knows about the events. Jennifer points the camera at him, inquiring about his true identity. He replies that his name is John Deakins. John admits that he intentionally trapped them in the elevator. He even carved the drawing on the wall. That Friday, he used the key to halt the elevator while she was distracted. Jennifer forces him to acknowledge that he can find her within the elevator. John concedes to both trapping and abducting her. She continues to interrogate him, prompting him to confess on camera everything he inflicted upon her, including slamming her head to the floor and throwing her into the wall. Jennifer asks for his motive, and John claims he merely desired a date with her. He assumes that had he asked her out normally, she would have rejected him. John shares his previous occupation before becoming a security guard. He was an accountant for a large company and truly successful. John states that the story about the girl in the car was accurate, but it concluded differently than he led her to believe. He ended up missing an exit and fell directly into a ravine. The vehicle rolled over 7 times until it was halted by a tree. The girl died instantly. John served only 6 months in prison because he had the means to avoid a longer sentence. Upon his release, the only employment he could secure was as a security guard. After a few months, he desired to reconnect with his true self and experience that feeling again for a brief moment. Jennifer still cannot grasp why he selected her. He claims it is because she is wonderful. When Monday comes, they remain confined. One of the other security personnel, Eddie, brings his new girlfriend to the building to show her the rooftop. While entering, he searches for John, and upon not locating him, he checks the security camera feeds. Eddie discovers that John and Jennifer are trapped in the elevator, waking them both. Jennifer pleads with him to rescue them. He informs her that he will descend and free them, as his girlfriend begins to doze on the sofa. Eddie reaches the elevator and forces the doors open using a crowbar. Although Jennifer is eager to escape, he explains that he must fully open the doors first and steps aside. Without warning, John knocks her unconscious. He informs Eddie of his presence and hands John his keys. John mentions that it is ineffective, prompting Eddie to announce his intention to assist them by climbing inside. He becomes stuck inside the elevator and realizes something is amiss when John activates the elevator and splits him in two. John then knocks Jennifer out once more, takes her to his vehicle, and places her in the trunk. He returns to the building to dispose of Eddie's body and clothing. After cleaning himself up, he puts on his uniform and discreetly places a cigar in his pocket. Upon arriving at the front desk, John erases all the surveillance footage. Eddie's girlfriend wakes up, and John eliminates her as well, discarding her body in the shaft. John then drives Jennifer to a remote site for disposal. He begins pouring gasoline into a dumpster in preparation. Before he opens the trunk, John expresses to Jennifer that he still cares for her and regrets they could not be together. Pretending to be lifeless, Jennifer waits for John to approach the dumpster before striking him on the head, getting into the vehicle, and driving away. At one point, she halts upon discovering the lit cigar in the tray. Jennifer reverses the car, colliding with a frightened John. Exiting the vehicle, she observes him in the dumpster. Relighting the cigar, she strolls away and tosses the burning end into the dumpster, igniting John.